All right, we are live. Cool.
Woohoo!
Yeah. All right, everyone. For those who don't know, my name is Alvin Poe. Just a very quick background of who I am. I started a tech company way back in 2002 with $0, scaled it up to $30 million, sold it in 2017, and then traveled the world full time for 2 years. Now I returned to Singapore and I am coaching entrepreneurs because I want to show them how to scale up the right way. Today, on this episode of Business and Beer, we have Eric Feng. Eric Feng is
Hi.
this this famous local celebrity. Eric actually started off as an unknown local trainer, in his own words, but now he's a celebrated global speaker. All thanks to social media. And that's something that we really want to find out from Eric Feng today. How he did it, what's the process like? How does one go from like being an unknown to like a celebrated global speaker? So prior to COVID-19, Eric used to travel like to all around the world. I think his record is like 35 countries.
35.
I think
Yeah, last year, pre-COVID.
2019,
This
35
year,
countries.
zero. Walao.
Yeah. Man, we're gonna all be looking forward to when we can actually travel safely again. So when you travel, I understand that you travel and you actually were speaking in all these countries that you visited as well.
Correct. Correct. So we
And
basically
you
follow the conference organizer. So if they run the
right,
conference in Hong Kong, then we'll go to Hong Kong. So we follow where they go.
got it. And you basically teach salespeople and entrepreneurs. And what you teach is how to use social media to attract paying customers without running ads.
Right. This is
And
social selling. It's actually a new concept,
social
a new word that I don't think is in a dictionary yet. It's called social selling. That means using social media to get customers.
right, and that's what we're going to cover today.
Awesome.
Yeah, you have a presence across 8 social medias, and you actually have a a verified blue tick on your Facebook. You have 200 over 1,000 followers.
Well, I mean, come on. If you started like when I started when Facebook started, you will also get 200,000.
What?
I think one of the biggest misconception that people have is that they care a lot about the size of the following. And for me, I don't really care too much about the size of the following. I care about whether the followers are activated for sales.
Yeah, engaged, right?
Exactly, because no point you have a lot of followers but they buy nothing from you, or they don't care about you. There's no point.
Yes.
So
Yes.
the key is to have followers that are open to buying things from you. Then you have a business.
Yes, so
Yeah.
true. Not just, and that's just not like unique to social media. It's like to everywhere as well. Wherever you have an audience, if you had to make a choice between quantity and quality, I guess for me, I always choose quality. Like 10 really good customers would beat like 100 or 1,000 like just mass unqualified
100%.
customers.
That's why we
or
can only
target.
marry one wife, right? Quality, not quantity.
Exactly. So we've got a few comments already. Hey guys, Daniel.
Hi Daniel. Hi
Johan,
Johan.
Arthur.
Arthur.
Hey man, thanks so much, man. Like really appreciate you guys being here. This is gonna be an epic episode with Eric. So please like and share this episode. Make sure more people see this. And let's start the show. First,
Yes.
we've got to talk about the beers. So the reason why I got Eric on the show is apparently your reputation precedes you, Eric. And we're not talking about social media here. We're talking about your love for beers.
Or just alcohol in general.
Yeah. Well, I have to say I love beers. Not all alcohol though, like some alcohol, particularly beers. One of my favorite is craft beer. Today I'm having a tangerine ale. It's from Lost Coast, the same brewery that makes the peanut butter stuff. Yeah, so this comes all the way from California.
Amazing,
And,
guys. You all just take a look. You see, you know why I like craft beer? I like craft beer not just because of the content, but I like it because of the visual. Like every piece of craft beer, right? It's a piece of art. So I never throw away my bottles when I drink craft beer. Like I keep the bottle. Yeah, I even keep the cans because they're
Isn't your
also
house
pretty.
like filled with?
Oh, that's why I'll never show it because then people think I'm an alcoholic.
I think people already know, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I have in my defense, right? I just feel that Alvin, I don't know if you feel that way. Like when we were in primary school, we make friends just like that, right? We'll go like, hey, want to eat together or want to play marbles? Then we are friends already. But you realize as you grow up, people start to have a lot of a criteria. They will go like, what's your background? Who do you know?
Yeah.
If I'm friends with you, what benefits can I get out of it? I mean, when we're in primary school or secondary school, we don't really care about benefits. You have nothing. I mean, at most, you probably have nice toys that I want to play with. That's how I'll be your friend. But I feel like as we grow up, right, we start to wear a lot of masks. And I understand that masks are useful, to protect ourselves. So the reason why I enjoy alcohol or like a little bit of alcohol, like beer, gin, is because I feel that people are a lot more fun to hang out with a little bit of alcohol because they are less inhibited. They think less, they feel more. The conversation become a lot more authentic, and I feel that I can get a lot of conversation. Yeah, seriously. I mean, I'm not trying to give you a motherhood story about why I drink, but I really enjoy like, over one pint of beer, to get to know you and see if we can connect without the stress of having to be somebody or having this whole thinking about
the mask comes off.
Yeah, reading between the lines. That's why. That's the reason. I don't know about the rest of you watching this. Do y'all feel the same way about beer, gin, cocktails, wine? That's how I feel.
Yeah, let us know, guys. I see somebody that likes Brewworks. No comments, no judgment.
Aiden,
but okay.
Hi, Aiden.
What else do you guys drink, man?
Why do you like Brewworks?
Yeah.
Actually, I'm very curious, Alvin, how do you start enjoying craft beer? There must be a good story behind it, right?
Oh man, that's why you're the master of social selling, bro. Nobody asked this question to me before.
I'm very curious about your backstory. Like, tell me, because I can tell you love burgers, good burgers, quality burgers, and you love your craft beer. What is it about craft beer that you like? Yeah, tell us your story.
I think what you said about like seasonality, the different cans and bottle designs even that come out every once in a while. That's what I love, right? And I didn't realize that until I went to look for my friend in California. And over in California, in the west coast of the USA, actually different parts, but I was in the west coast, and there was such a mature craft beer scene there. One of the more famous beer varieties is the New England IPA. Prior to going to California, this I think was in 2017 or 2018, I hated beers. Like, I mean, I would drink a lager, like, your Heineken or Carlsberg or Tiger, like at dinner, I'll just have a few. But I wouldn't go for IPAs because I usually feel like they are very, very bitter. And when I went over, my friend was like, dude, you've not tried anything. Don't say you don't like beers. Try this, right? And when I first had my first New England IPA, it was like, wow, I never knew beers were so complex, so juicy. Like the word they actually used to describe New England IPAs is juicy. I was like, wow, just bursting of flavor. And so craft beer now to me is like almost like wine, where there are like so many different varieties. You never know what you're gonna expect, and you get such an experience just trying different ones.
Okay, so it's the variety and also because of the taste, right?
Yeah, after you had like craft beers, you go back to like regular beers, the mass market beers, and you realize, man, you just miss the complexity, you miss the flavors. You just can't get that from the big breweries.
There's one thing that we can learn, right? I mean, since we are talking about business here, you realize that how I look at beer or how I look at anything is that in any business, you need to first be different, then be better. And I'm not saying that you do not need to be better, but if I'm just a beer, I'm creating a beer, right? And then I create a better beer, there is no difference. People can't tell the difference. And so, you have your commercial beer, which is like your Heineken, your Tiger. But the reason why I like craft beer is because I feel that sometimes we cannot beat the big giants, right? But we can play our own game. And I think that, craft beer represents a lot of us entrepreneurs. We may not have deep pockets. We may not have big brands. We may not have the money to get the kind of commercials and endorse celebrities. But if we find our uniqueness, right, our personality, our color, we can still find our tribe. Just like Alvin, how he found his beer. And I think that's one of the reasons why I like craft beer, because of that message.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Oh, man. You have like so much more awesome stories that I do.
No, come on, we all have our own.
That totally resonates though. Like I was just talking to one of my pals yesterday about this whole concept of why we start businesses. So I realized that there are different reasons why we do that, but primarily when I do it, and back then when I was running Vodian, one of the main things that I looked out for was my customer experience. What am I bringing to the table? Why am I different? Why should the customer choose Vodian? Why should they choose our business, right? And the kind of value, the kind of experience that we want to provide to them is so important. It's more important than the profits. It's more important than the financial performance. To me, if the customer leaves, we take care of them, their websites, their emails are up and running, they don't get hacked. That is something that I feel proud about, that they are happy and they are satisfied. So
now I'm curious.
Yeah.
No, you finish up. Sorry. You finish.
Yeah. So that's what I see also, and what you said about craft beer, that kind of passion, that kind of dedication to creating a product that customers love, more than just like making beer for like the profits, for the money. I think that's something that I can really, really appreciate and resonate with.
I was wanted to ask you, like, because you're from a business background, right? How do you end up with a value like what you just communicated? Because I mean, let's face it, not everybody start a business because they want to serve customers. Most people that I know of, when they start a business, because they want to make a profit. But your narrative is very different. Do you have a good mentor that helped you think in a very, very different way? Or did something happen that make you realize that doing business is not just about making profits, but it's about making a difference first and then the profits come?
Well, I think it was a journey for me. I didn't really have a mentor back then. I started off as like with my co-founder. We were like just a couple of broke university or polytechnic kids, right? And honestly, like the reason why we got into business was to survive. It was either that or to go get a job outside. But I'm very, very thankful because we started the business with the right mindset. We started a business wanting to solve the pain points that our customers had. And we knew this because we were customers of that industry before. So we're very, very clear. And I think that was a very thankful thing, because over time, we realized that all these customers that we were serving, they really appreciated us. They relied on us. They trusted us. And that was something that we discovered along the way. And when we did that, we realized, oh shit, that's a responsibility. That is a duty. And I guess that shaped me to be who I am when I realized that that's actually what a business is all about. It's not about the profits. It's not about the financial performance. Because if you concentrate on that, it is never going to get you that far when like the going gets tough, when like you get like all these problems happening to you in business, and you've got to like pull the late nights, you've got to like stress, you've got to like think about all these problems. What keeps you going is the customer, that duty, the sense of responsibility, at least for me.
I love it. The reason why I asked you that question is because I wasn't that lucky. I wasn't born into entrepreneurship. In fact, I was manufactured as an entrepreneur. Let me explain.
Oh,
I explain. Because I'm born in the 1980s, and back then, you're probably if you don't mind, how old are you?
I'm 36, 1984.
Yeah, shit. Then we are almost the same. I'm 1982. So, but you remember the 1980s, right? When we are told to study hard, and the best jobs are to be doctors, lawyers, engineers, right? So that was the era that we come from. But I don't know if you remember this, but the minute we entered 2000, which is where you're probably in JC, Army, and I'm already in my university. University starts realizing that entrepreneurship is going to be a big thing.
Yes.
Right?
But
there is but there's no one teaching about entrepreneurship.
Yeah,
And
nothing at all.
so NUS, I'm from NUS, you're from SMU, right? So NUS, we take pride, okay? We are the first university that created the Business Incubation Center, where we look for entrepreneurs to, cultivate, to nurture, to give them that kind of environment. And I was very blessed to be the sixth batch, to be flown to NCBV, which is Bio Valley. That's where all your medical startups happen in. So it started with Silicon Valley, but because I wanted to go to Philadelphia for fun, so I applied for Bio Valley, even though I was a computer science student. But it was really in that program that I actually studied in Harvard. We learned about entrepreneurship and technology. We learn about how to write business plan. And then when we come back, we start our business. So we were manufactured entrepreneurs. It did not start with like, ooh, I'm an angry customer because you're like a Richard Branson. Remember Richard? It's always about he's not happy with the airline, he go and start his own airline. He's not happy with the current gym, he start his own gym. That's like the true blue entrepreneur. But for us, it's more like our university feels that hey, entrepreneurship is a big thing. Let's teach our guys the discipline of being an entrepreneur. So I came from that route, but I make a lot of mistakes along the way. But it was much later, someone gave me this principle that helped me a lot, which is, if you guys want to write it down, you can write it down, which is...
Wait, guys. This is going to be a golden nugget.
Wow, wait.
Like and share,
I don't know if it's golden nugget, but it's definitely a nugget. Right? And this is,
like and share, guys, please.
This is something that really impacted me, which is the amount of money you make is simply the market's feedback of your value. Yes. The amount of money that you make is simply the market's feedback of your value, of the value that you deliver. So if you're making $10,000, it's because the market believes that you're giving $10,000 worth of value. So one of the things that I've learned is if I want my business to be $1 million business, then I need to solve $1 million problem. And that really helped me a lot. Because a lot of time business is all about numbers. Like, ooh, I want to make $1 million. Therefore, I need X number of customers. Therefore, I need to do whatever it takes to squeeze like sugarcane, all the juices out. And that's the very traditional model of entrepreneurship, which is really toxic. But I think that the businesses that last, that sustain even through COVID-19, are businesses that actually have real problems that they're solving. And so anyone out there, since today's chat is about business and beer, I think the very important thing for all of you guys, if you're entrepreneurs, is go find yourself a problem that you are actually pissed off with.
Nothing beats like just that feel of
like
right things.
Exactly, because if it's not you, it's no one else. It's that kind of feeling that, athlete, no one's going to do anything about it. I'm going to do something about it. And that is the kind of attitude that makes great entrepreneurs. And of course, there are other groups of people in watching us or probably watching the replay, which is my market. So my market aren't exactly entrepreneurs. My followers are generally in three verticals. They are all in service they're all service professionals. So they're all selling a service. So they're either selling a financial service, property, or they're in network marketing. These are the three dominant verticals that I have the most affinity with. And I always tell them this. I say that, yes, you do not need to create a product, but you need to constantly be thinking about your customers' problems, struggles, and what keeps them awake every night. Because if you're constantly putting yourself in their shoe, thinking about their problems, you would be so motivated to help them. Yes, and think about it. People don't care about how much you know unless you first show them how much you care. The problem with a lot of salespeople is that the minute you open your mouth, you're talking about products and services, which are solutions. But solutions are logical. Problems are emotional. So if you start talking problems, you're going to capture people's attention. And if I have the problem that you talk about, then now I want to work with you because you can help me solve it. So solution is at 50th floor. Problem is at first floor. You are now at the 50th floor trying to get your customers to come up to the building, right? But you need to go down to their level. So I feel that entrepreneurs think about what problems you want to solve. If you already belong to a company, constantly think about what are the top 3 to 5 struggles, challenges that your customers are facing, and constantly think about how to help them solve that. And if you do that itself without even social media, you will already be successful. Social media just amplifies your success. That's all.
Wow, I love that. Like, I think that actually can be applied to any job. Like, assuming that you love your job and like what you're doing, your career, you can actually apply that, because like that knowledge and that mindset of wanting to solve problems is a lot more powerful than just like going about doing your job,
Make
going
money.
about like doing like your daily checklist just for the sake of doing it. But if you think about problems and pain points, you'll be like, hang on, actually I don't really need to do things this way. What is the objective, right? I want to solve like somebody's pain point when I do this, and maybe this is not the best way to do it. And that's how you improve, right? That's how you say, oh, maybe I can improve the process, maybe I can do things better, maybe I can do things another way. That's like how you get real progress. That's how you get real improvement. And you don't need to be an entrepreneur to do that.
No.
You can like
you can be an intrapreneur, right? So what's an intrapreneur? Intrapreneur is somebody that solve problem within the organization. Also can.
Yeah, absolutely. So this is something that really, really cuts across everything. I know there are people here who might not necessarily be in business or in entrepreneurship or in like sales, but this is something that really can apply for anything. When I was much younger, I had this notion that sales was like all about fancy like gimmicks and techniques and all that, right? But like what you said, Eric, like sales is really like just being able to understand your target audience before you even like try to sell them something, before you even try to come up with a solution for them, right? And like try to force them that solution. It's the understanding of their current situation, what they're looking for, their pain points, and then connecting it with the product or the service that you have.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Can be so much more powerful.
So you think about it, if you stop seeing yourself as a salesperson, you're actually going to do a lot better, because nobody likes salespeople. That's the reason why, if I ask all of you right now, do you even know there is a salesperson day? You probably do not know there is a salesperson day. It's actually it's actually the first Friday of December. It's a salesperson day, but nobody celebrates it because we do not like salespeople. But we celebrate Teachers Day because we love teachers. So if we are as entrepreneur, if you start, whether you're an entrepreneur or a salesperson, if you start introducing yourself by the problems you solve, people will be more willing to talk to you and listen to you. So I would not even tell people that I'm an insurance agent or a financial advisor. Whenever I meet a person, I would think about what is the problem that the person has. So for example, let's assume I'm a financial advisor, and my target market are young parents, right? So people ask me, oh, what do you do for a living? I'll say that, well, the customers that I love serving are young couples like you. And one of the biggest financial challenge that they have is they do not have the means to save the kind of money that they want to give their children the best life possible. So my job is to make sure that regardless of whatever income that you have, you can give your children the best life possible without compromising your current lifestyle.
Wow, that's a lot more powerful.
It's not a script. It's that I know you because I know my market. So I never go to, even though on Instagram I put there I'm a social media strategist for the sake of SEO, search engine optimization, but I never tell people I'm a social media strategist. Like when people ask me, oh, what do you do for a living? I will first ask them, are you an insurance agent or a real estate agent? If they say they are not, then I'll just say, I'm a speaker. I won't even tell them what I do because they're not my market. But if they say I'm an insurance agent, I'm a real estate agent, let's say real estate agent, I'll just laugh and I say, are you a bit sick and tired of spending so much money on your ads? Like, nowadays Facebook go cranky and they just delete your ads or ban you. Or you notice that everybody's coming out with high quality ads, which means that you keep having to level up your game. Is getting exhausting. Do you feel that way?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. I say that that's exactly what I do. I make sure that you don't have that problem because there's a new way you can get customers without running ads. Done.
Oh wow! Even I feel like wanting to listen to you now.
Again, it's not sales. It's not like as if I have a piece of book, but it's because the way to be a good communicator is empathy. Empathy is more important than eloquence. So a lot of people come to me and say, Eric, what should I say? I say, you're asking the wrong question. You should be, how should you feel when you meet a person? You know, I feel a lot. Whenever I meet a person who's an insurance agent, I feel a lot for them. Because I know how pressurizing it is to be an insurance agent. For those of them who are very new in the business, they can still be quite embarrassed telling people that they're an insurance agent. So I understand that. And every month, their sales target resets. So I don't care how awesome you are in month October, but November, the month resets. And if you are NDRT, that means you are a high qualifier, right? You actually have a lot of pressure because now everybody will look at you and either hope you fail or will look
Right.
up to you as a role model, and that creates
Oh
stress and
man.
pressure. But you
Yeah,
see,
so much pressure when that happens.
and I'm not an insurance agent, but because I understand that that's how they feel, I feel more passionate about helping them. And if I'm talking to an insurance agent and I speak like that, my conversation is so salty, right? They will be thirsty for me. You see, the only reason why we want to drink beer is because we want to quench our thirst. Our job as an entrepreneur or as a marketer or as a communicator is to get people to quench for, to thirst for us. And the only way we can get them to thirst for us is if our conversations are salty. And the only way for our conversation to be salty is if we have this thing called empathy, that we understand intimately what that person is going through, what keeps that person awake every night, what is the person desiring.
Wow.
If you can speak to that, you'll be an awesome whatever. You'll be awesome CEO. You'll be awesome teacher. You'll be awesome mom. You'll be awesome whatever you want to be.
Yes, yes.
That's really
you know, I used to think that was like sales, right? But then I realized that can be applied to anything. Anything. Yeah. Wait. We need to pause. We need to make sure the audience is there. We need to make sure that everybody's getting value out of this. So if you are, please give us a comment. There's a like button. There's a share button. So man, I'm reading through your comments and I'm looking at like the shares.
I help you do something, okay? Hey guys, the 24 of you watching Alvin right now and whoever that's going to be watching the replay, I always believe that you get what you give. And I mean, the fact that Alvin is where he is today is because he gave his 120% to his customers. That's why he is where he is today. And if you want to be where Alvin is, you need to start understanding the law of this universe, that givers always gets. And so if you guys want, and it's exactly, Ihan, is biblical truth. And so if you guys want engagement on social media, because I suppose you are here because you want to learn about social media, then you need to first give other people engagement. Like if you're not even willing to share this video, you're not willing to even ask a question or leave a comment, then guess what? People are not going to do the same for you. It's exactly the way it is. So whatever that you want, if you want love, give love. Right? If you want people to respect you, start respecting people. You want people to look for your strengths, start looking for people's strength. Everything starts with you. So now I'm not giving a sales pitch here. I'm telling you that me and Alvin, all right, I think we are playing a very different game here. Right? I think we're doing all right with our life. I think Alvin is probably doing much better, right? I read about his story. But I tell you what gets us the kick. What gets us the kick today, I think, I'm predicting, but I do not know because it's my first time meeting Alvin, is legacy. Would you say that, Alvin? It's reaching out to more people. It's impacting people.
I think it's impact. Impact is important.
Yeah.
I mean, no matter where you are in life, right? Like I'm looking at like even like the people who are at the level of like Bill Gates. I'm not there at all, but I'm looking at them and they are like contributing to society. They are donating their fortunes, and I think that's something that is the right thing. Like we don't amass and hoard wealth for ourselves. We do that and we get that because of the value that we create, and then as a result we get wealth. But then when we have wealth, we have to start realizing that it's actually a responsibility, and now we have to figure out what to do with it in order to get the most impact.
Yeah. And that's the reason why money is also called currency. Because what's called currency is movement. And the only way you can make more money is if you let money move through you, through your talents, through your words, And so I 100% believe in whatever that Alvin is mentioning. So anyway, my point is, guys, that if you really want to thank Alvin, you want to thank me, for all the things that you have done, the best way to thank us is really just hit the share button. It's not too difficult to do that. And when you start doing that, have that generosity mindset to share us with your world, people that follow you will start to have the same generosity mindset to share you with the world as well. So, before we go any further, I would really encourage you guys to hit the share button. There is a share button right below. If you hit the share button right now, you will see that you can share us to your groups. You can share us to your friends. Just go out there and click a few friends whom you believe would find this really valuable. And trust me, if you get value, they will get value. And if they get value, they will thank you for it. And you have just created positive equity for yourself. That's really how relationships are built.
Wow, that is powerful stuff. I can
No, I
see
mean,
why.
I really mean from the bottom of the heart. I mean, I see it happening with so many of my friends who are doing so well in business. You know what? I mean, Alvin, you probably attract a lot of people. I mean, you've probably seen a lot of people playing at very high levels. I think one thing that you see in them is really generosity. And it's not the kind of fake generosity. It's the, oh, you cheat me, then okay, never mind, it's okay. I'll move on. Right? They really have that kind of mindset, and that's why they're successful.
Yeah. Speaking of cheating, I just met this guy who viewed cheating as a form of a test. He saw cheating as he put it in a very, very interesting way. Like normally when people get cheated, they'll be like, oh crap, I got scammed. People like my money, right? But he had this very, very interesting concept. So he says that everything has value. Like I have a mouse here, right? This mouse has value. I paid something for this. Like I can't remember how much it was. Let's say it's $50, right? I paid $50 for this. Who's to say that it was worth $50, right? Like maybe the manufacturing cost is like $2 or something. Like maybe the profit margin is like $30, right? So who's to say that $30 is a fair profit margin? And when people cheat you, they're basically like giving you like zero value, and just taking whatever that is as the price that you paid. And he sees that as a test. If that is the value of the relationship they see in him, and he let himself be cheated, then so be it. That is on him. That is the value of the relationship, and now he knows better. He has learned lessons. And I thought that was a very, very refreshing way of looking at cheating and scamming. It's still not a good thing, but I think in anything in life, there is the concept of like framing and mindset and how you think.
Yeah. Very good point.
Exactly. Cool. Bill Gates, I love that author.
Well, I mean, bottom of my heart and bottom side. Bottoms up, guys. Cheers.
Speaking of bottom, I'm already at the bottom of my glass.
Oh, hey, because I'm doing all the talking one. Later you do the talking, I will help myself with the beer. I have another one here.
Oh man, I need to get my beer. I need to get my beer.
Oh, wait, I just want to take a screenshot of the stout. Okay, you go and get another beer. All right. Anyway, hi guys. So Alvin just left me alone. So I'm gonna. I wanted to like engage your followers. Okay, wait. Where's your beer? Do you have another beer or something? I want to like.
I have like plenty of beers, bro.
Do you have very good 酒量? Like, are you good with your alcohol tolerance?
Terrible at beers. I usually like start loosening up after like the first mouth. So you guys are gonna get like unfiltered information now.
That's great. That's the good thing about this. Okay, you move it nearer to your camera. I'll take a screenshot.
This is a Car Camper, which is a hazy pale ale.
Pale ale.
Yeah.
I like dark ale. I like stout. Like anything that's dark, I kind of like it more. Like stronger taste. Guys, anyway, special shout out to this peanut butter chocolate milk stout. Alvin was very kind to give me 2 bottles. So I don't know if Alvin, you know this, but I'm gonna save the other bottle because it's so freaking good. It tastes like peanut butter, yet it also tastes like chocolate milk, and it is stout. And the picture is so freaking beautiful, right? This is by far my favorite craft beer already. Do you know how to make craft beer? Like, do you actually have an interest in learning how to make it, or you just like drinking it?
Yeah, I'm a professional drinker, man.
My friend is an entrepreneur. He does gamification apps. He's also a tech guy like me, and he's right now he's a craft beer artisan. So he's actually learning about how to make craft beer. He invited me to try his craft beer. You want to go?
Okay. Is this Keith?
Yes. You have already. Of course, Keith is for SMU, right? He's your senior.
Yeah, same age. I think.
Are you sure? I know him. I know him when he was in SMU. So he actually helped me build an app. That's how I got to know him.
Okay.
So have he invited you?
No, man.
Oh man, Keith is a good friend. He never. Okay, no mind. Who cares? He invited me. I'm gonna invite you. I mean, we'll go and drink, and we'll go and support him.
Okay. Very cool. Yeah. So I don't brew beer, but I know the concept of like how they do it, and man, I just love the whole process. It's so much effort, it's so much like dedication, and it's like an art, not a science. So
I wouldn't know
yeah.
about that. I would wait till I see Keith, and then we're gonna see how he entice us and how he make us enjoy it even more.
So I'm very curious. How does it like? How does it happen where your reputation for beer precedes you? How do I get like people
Okay,
asking
I know why.
for
I'll give you.
Eric?
Okay, one of my videos actually went viral early last year. Okay, so this is what happened. Because as you know, I travel right quite a bit. So I was in Malaysia a lot. I'm in Malaysia almost every other week. And I remember I was with this real estate company. Special shout out to Hatamas Real Estate. And I was with a couple of my mentees. And they introduced me to stout, and they say that you should drink stout because stout will not make you feel bloated. So that was their selling point. And I was like, okay, if it doesn't make me feel bloated, I'll try stout. And I fell in love with stout, and I love it so much. And obviously, I kind of overdrank a little bit. But of course, whenever someone meet me overseas, it's always to pick my brain, right? Which I don't mind. I love it. I love sharing. And so they were not doing very well in their real estate sales, and they wanted to pick my brain. And I think because I was already a bit higher, and so I wasn't censoring what I said. So I gave him a beer lecture. I think it's still in my Instagram story. I was drunk already. I did not know I was being recorded, but I essentially scolded him, and I said that, you know what, you I don't know what I said because I'm not higher right now, but I said a lot of things that make a lot of sense.
Oh, Eric, we need to get you there, man.
But it's unfiltered, uncensored, you know. And that guy recorded it and then posted it on Instagram story and then shared it with me. And then it got shared. And I think that was the reason why after that, every one of my follower invited me for stout and only stout. Because of that video. Right. So they'll go like, oh, Eric loves stout. We're gonna take him to a nice place for stout. And I'm a sucker, you know. It's like, oh, you're gonna take me for stout. Yeah, let's go. Oh, there's a very nice Instagrammable place. Okay, let's go. So that is like essentially my hook, you know, the bait. Like, oh, there's nice drinks, good company. I would love to go. And then of course when you go, people will sure ask, prepare 3 to 5 questions that they want to ask you about, like sales or social media, which I'm more than happy to answer. So I guess that perpetuates. And then that spreads, and then, you know, everything on Instagram is always amplified. And then there you go. I guess that's why people think that I drink a lot. But I mean, in my defense, I have a coach now. I have a fitness coach. So I drinking alcohol, it's like a budget. So every week I have a certain budget. So let's say if I drink 2 bottles right now, that means I have to drink minus 2 bottles on Saturday, for example. So the good thing is I'm not going out on Friday. So therefore, I'm actually drinking my Friday share. You see, after saying, come, I'll bring you for great stout here. I'm a stout fan. So I'm a sucker. I would go, man. I don't even know who Arthur is. But, you know, I would go. And guys, this is exactly...
Arthur's in Malaysia.
Sorry? Arthur is in Malaysia also. I have to wait for COVID-19 to be lifted first, right? But guys, this itself is a lesson. What's the lesson? The lesson is if you start paying attention to the people that you're trying to connect with, you know, find out what they enjoy, what's their passion, right? Or find out what are some of the challenges that they're facing. So I have an acronym that I use, which is PPVV. Find out their passion, find out their pain, find out their values, and find out their vision. And then once you understand what is their PPVV, you go all out to add value to them. That's how you do it. So I'm going to give you a quick story of somebody that I admire. His name is Keith Ferrazzi. Keith Ferrazzi is a consultant based in US, and he wrote this book called Never Eat Alone, which I highly recommend you guys read. You read it?
Yeah, I read
awesome book, right? Change your mind about networking, right?
Yeah.
Now, I was very fortunate. I read the book during university. So that's why university was my hunting ground for networking. So I'm going to tell you a quick story. He was the youngest CMO, Chief Marketing Officer for Deloitte Consulting, which is right now the top 5. But do you know, years ago, Deloitte was not even in the top 5 consulting firm. Deloitte was actually at the bottom. So he went to the Deloitte CEO. So guys, if you ever meet a CEO or someone important and you do not know how to talk to them, very easy. Ask them what are their business goals. So Keith went to that CEO and said, I'm curious, what is your aspiration? What's your aspiration for Deloitte? And then the CEO said, well, I aspire Deloitte to be like Anderson Consulting, which is basically right now Essential. I want us to be top 3. Now, most people just listen to it and just forget about it. But Keith Ferrazzi then went to his professor and offered to do a final year paper studying the best consulting companies in America with the endorsement of Harvard University, because that's where he studies. So he did the entire paper with his professor. 1 year later, went to the CEO and say, hey, do you remember me? The CEO totally forgot about him. But he said, it doesn't matter. But remember you told me you aspire to be top 3? Here I have right now a research paper that shows why these guys are their top 3. Would you want this? Wow. And the guy said, of course, this is brilliant. And after reading that piece of paper, he offered that young guy, Keith, a job. And Keith's only condition is, I want to have 2 dinners with you this year. If you hire me, yes, but I want to have 2 dinners with you. And those dinner conversations are what led to a relationship that led to him being the youngest chief marketing officer of Deloitte Consulting.
Yeah. And that's exactly what you said just now, right? You give first before you ever expect anything. And that completely like reverses what people normally think about sales. Like that kind of sales tactic where they shove flyers in your face, or they want to like just get your attention and say, hey, do you want to buy this? That's terrible. That's not properly doing sales. That's not following the formula they talked about, PPVV. So
I always feel that if those people who are extremely impatient, they should really go learn cooking or go gardening, because I think cooking and gardening are two of the best ways to understand that sales is only the fruits of your labor. So your labor is planting seeds. So if you plant seeds, you will get fruits. Rather than try to steal other people's fruits, if you constantly build a relationship, you constantly add value, the plants will come. The problem with most people is that they are too impatient. And I love what Gary Vee says. Are you a fan of Gary Vee? Gary Vaynerchuk?
Yeah, I love his videos, man.
It's again, an amazing marketer. Gary Vee says, macro patience, micro focus. So be patient with the outcome, but be impatient with your actions. So be impatient, do a lot, but leave the outcome behind, right? And the outcomes will come anyway. Because a lot of times when we focus on the outcome is when we start taking shortcuts.
Oh my God, that's really powerful. Like in the gardening example that you mentioned, right? Like if we start thinking about like the fruits first and not bothering about the process, we immediately think about the shortcuts, right? Can we steal our neighbor's fruits? Can we like buy or whatever? Like, and these are like shortcuts. But if we really look at the process of gardening, spending the time, the years to actually cultivate the plants that will give us the fruits, and these fruits will like keep coming, right? They will keep fruiting. They'll keep like giving us that harvest. And that takes the patience to go through that kind of process.
So you know what? We have just codified a couple of principles of success. Principle number 1 is generosity. Principle number 2 is patience.
Yes.
Successful people are very, very patient people. I don't think I'm very patient, but I'm learning. Or at least I observe my friends and I notice that they're very patient. Patient with the outcome, impatient with their own personal growth, impatient with taking the right action.
Yeah. let me update this and then like put it down.
By the way, guys, I just want to say, right, that if Alvin and I are right now at a bar, this will be the exact same conversation we'll still be having. The only difference is that we don't have a recording. I think this is better. At least we have a conversation, then we can record this and we can rewatch whatever that we have talked about.
Yeah, exactly. So we have Kelvin. I think Kelvin Neo to thank for this happening. He was the one.
Kelvin Neo. He's a Singaporean. He's a marketer. But I actually connected with him when he was in Malaysia. Over drinks. Yeah.
No wonder he knows. So he saw the previous episode of Business and Beer that I did, and he immediately said, "Alvin, you need to connect with Eric. He's a beer lover." And I'm like, okay, I'll reach out. And yeah, cool. That's how this happened. So
Thank
it's
you,
awesome.
Alvin.
Oh man, looking at all the comments right now.
Oh, Kelvin.
Yeah.
Kelvin. Did I just say Alvin? Shit.
You're just thinking of me.
Why? I'm just going through the. Aiden says, "Holy cow! You guys are so disciplined. Drink beer also got quota one." I say
Well,
only but sometimes I also break the rules.
yeah, I think that's the important thing about everything that we do, right? We need to make sure that we are disciplined in everything that we do, because if you want to get the results, guess what? You need discipline. You need a plan. You need a strategy. You need like to know what to do. Just having a habit, for example, is going to get you the results rather than just like leaving it up to chance, leaving it up to motivation. Like what Eric does, right? He has a fitness regime. He has a diet regime. That's why he has a trainer, and that's why he has this quota. Otherwise, you just be drinking like whatever amount of beers he wants.
Yeah.
That's kind of like how I also regulate my beer intake. I love beers. Doesn't mean I drink beers all the time. Doesn't mean I drink like so much. I drink in moderation because I know that if I want to keep on drinking beers and still be fit, still be healthy, I got to make sure that there's a quota, that I make sure that I control myself. That's how I have like, the long-term goals that I want to have. Yeah.
So maybe we invite your followers, right? I mean, there's like 27 of them watching us right now. I'm curious to know, since you guys know today's topic is also about social media, what are some of the questions that you guys have? Or maybe let's put it this way. What is your biggest roadblock that you're facing right now that is preventing you from going all into social media? Because if people are getting results on social media, then they don't need to try to be on social media. They will be in social media, right? Which is the reason why I'm actively on social media, because I've experienced the benefits of being on social media. But to the rest of you, and even to Alvin as well, like how has your social media journey been for you? Have you just started being on social media?
Yeah, I mean, I started off doing that whole travel thing because I was traveling so much.
Oh,
and
okay.
posting like travel photos and all that, but I really wasn't a travel influencer or anything like that. That wasn't really my interest. And then I realized, what I really wanted was to give back in terms of business. That's my true passion, like entrepreneurship, business. And so I did that pivot online in my social media channels as well. Like even now, I think in Facebook and Instagram, that is what I talk about all the time, like how to scale, how to really like get a business that can really grow. So yeah, that one of my I don't know about you guys, but my biggest stumbling block is I creating the kind of content that all of you appreciate, all of you guys can learn from, can get value from. That's my stumbling block right now.
Hey, you know what? I know that Alvin, your pet topic right now is on scaling, right?
Yeah.
Do you?
Yeah.
That's the question. I mean, my hot topic is personal branding, or at least personal branding is one aspect of social selling. So, do you think personal branding can be scaled?
Yes, absolutely. I think anything can be scaled. What is scaling? Scaling is basically coming up with a process of systems in order to give you that ability to really have the exponential growth. Because so what scale? Scale is basically the alternative, the other thing other than like growth. Because growth and scale, they both mean an increase, right? But I think the problem with growth is that everything happens in parallel. You have revenue, you have like expenses, they grow in parallel. But with scale, the revenue breaks away and then it exponentially increases. So that's the kind of effect that you probably want to have for business. In your personal brand, that's something that you want to have as well, that kind of exponential like scale, right? And so to do that, you need systems. What do I mean? So for personal branding, if like you're on social media, for example, you cannot just like sporadically like create content or sporadically.
If you like it,
right? You've got to have like a system to do that. You got to say like, every day I'm going to spend like half an hour engaging my comments or engaging my followers. I'm going to spend another 2 hours creating content. I'm going to have like a schedule of like posts or content that I make and actually post out. So these are systems that help you get to that kind of level. Yeah.
So anyway, I asked you that question because I get asked that question a lot, and I thought it would be very nice to answer it in your show because you are the scaling expert, right? Or at least you talk about scaling. So a lot of people ask me, is branding scalable? And to me, I think anything is scalable. Like you said, anything is scalable as long as you first know the formula. Because there's everything. I mean, scaling is basically just a exponential effect. It's like a square of something, right?
Yeah,
So
exactly.
4 square is 16. That's scale. But the question is, are you able to understand the formula of personal branding? And to me, the formula of personal branding is very easy. I use 3 alphabets: K, L, and R. So let's try Alvin, for example. Like a lot of people say, oh, does Alvin has a personal brand? Very simple. Alvin, who are your target market that you're trying to go after, that you're trying to work and impact?
6-7-figure entrepreneurs.
Sorry, 6 to 7 figures
figure
entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
In Singapore only, or okay, good.
Singapore, yeah.
Okay, so you see, this is how you assess whether Alvin has a brand yet. Okay, number 1, I would go talk to all the 6 to 7 figure entrepreneurs and I ask them, do you know Alvin? If the answer is yes, he passed level 1 of personal branding. People know him. But my next question is, if they say, yes, I know Alvin, he's a scaling guy, I will say, do you like him as a person? Oh my God, this guy is into craft beer. I like him. He's very authentic. He's very real. In fact, I follow him on his Facebook Live. Okay, that's L, which means that the person like you. Because we all know that people buy people first. If I don't like you, I'll never be open to your influence. If I hate you and you're brilliant, I will still not do business with you. But if I like you, but you're not that brilliant, I will still find excuses to work with you. That's just the way human beings are. So part 2, level 2 of branding is likability. Do people have positive things to say about you? Now, but you must understand something. If I like you, I'll be your friend. But if I respect you, I will do business with you. That's the difference. So you still need a last one, which is R. Do you respect Alvin as a guy that can help you scale your business? Now that's when his student success story comes in. That's when Alvin's knowledge comes in. That's when Alvin's past success comes in, right? So K, L, and R. If that person say yes to all these 3 questions, then I can successfully say that Alvin has a brand. Right now, then the question is, can that brand lead into sales? Well, it depends on whether Alvin has a funnel, has an offer, right? So I see K, L, and R as a following. So I've a lot of my marketing friends who talk a lot about funnels. So what is funnel? Funnel is an inverted triangle. It's an offer that you create. But you need to have people who know you, like you, and respect you before they would buy your offer, regardless of the price point. So in a funnel, you can have a $9.99 product, $99 product, and then a $999 product and a $999 product. That's the funnel, right? Value ladder. But ultimately, how deep a person goes into your offer depends on how deep their love is for you. That's why people sing, how deep is love? So that's why, are you starting to see it? So there is actually a number to it. And I mean, there's number because I've been working with a lot of my mentees, and I noticed that, the guideline is for every 100 people that follow you, you need to make sure that 20 of them join your community. The minute a person, so what do you mean by join your community? If I follow you, right, I essentially just follow you on a social media platform. That's it, right? I'm paying attention to you, and I'm beginning to like you and respect you depending on the content that you produce. But the real relationship, Alvin, is not built on social media. The real relationship is actually built in a community, and it is done using a communication platform like email or Telegram or WhatsApp broadcasts. So one of the mistakes that we make is we have a lot of vanity in having a huge following, but we never move our following through the process. So you need to convert your followers into your community. So they have to give you their name and their email address to subscribe to your Telegram channel or to subscribe to your email marketing list. Now, once that happens, the sale happens here. Because think about it. If a
Right.
person is not even willing to give you their email address and telephone number, the person will never give you $1.
That is true. That is so
So by,
true, man.
by getting your follower to take an extra step with you, you are qualifying your followers. So
Yeah.
every 100 followers, you want to make sure that 20 of them join your community. And it is in the 20 of them that you do your offer. And that's when you get your, 5 sales, 10 sales, depending on how good your offer is.
That is true. Wow.
And that's why I
Like, yeah.
tell people, do you need to run an ad? You can run an ad later on, but even if you don't run ads, especially if you're in insurance or real estate, every customer that you work with, you're already earning tens and thousands of dollars. You don't need too many people. You just need, like what Alvin, we mentioned, quality customers. So with 100 followers, 20 subscribers, and every month you communicate properly to them, right? Strategically to them, you get about 5 to 7 sales. So case in point, one of my mentees, he's in insurance, right? We worked out the math already, and we realized that every follower makes him $12.
Wow. Okay.
Because he has 616 followers on Instagram, and he have 86 people in his community, and every month he closed about 6 to 8 deals from that 68 of them. And every deal makes him about $1,000 to $2,000. And therefore we divide, we get $12.
Yeah.
Now I ask him, how much money do you want to make next month? He said, I want to make 10K. So 10K divided by $12, you know exactly how many followers you need.
Yeah.
Then you go to grow that followers. So it's scalable. Then of course you can play cheap by running ads to grow that followers. But if the dots are not connected, your followers doesn't lead to your subscribers, doesn't lead to a customer, then
that's the point.
What's the point? And not forgetting, customer is not even the end yet. It's follower, subscriber, customer, raving fan. 4 wheels.
Yeah.
A car with 2 big wheels cannot run very fast. A car with 4 small wheels can still run faster than a car with 1 big wheel. So there's no point having a lot of followers, but no subscribers, no customers, no raving fans. Your car can't run. But if I have little follower, little subscriber, little customer, little raving fan, my car will still move faster than you. That's why I write at the beginning, I said, you need to activate your followers and turn your skeptical followers into raving fans. If you have that sales process, you have a scalable business.
Yeah, totally. I love that. I love that. Like the way I structure businesses and like the scaling methodologies that I use are holistic in nature. We don't focus on one thing at all. Like a lot of times when I talk to my clients, they say, how do I get more sales? What marketing channels should I focus on? And I tell them that's literally like a leaky bucket. That's the perfect analogy. There's a bucket, you're collecting water, and the bucket's leaking. Yeah, sure, you can get more water in, right? You can get like a flood in, but guess what? The bucket's only this big. The bucket is leaking. There's only so much water you can keep.
Well said.
So how I do it is basically focus on the business operations, looking at fulfillment, looking at customer experience, looking at customer renewal, looking at advocacy, making sure the bucket is solid so that every drop of water that comes in stays in. That is how you really like get a business that can scale. Then bigger bucket and so on.
But that's the problem, right? People do not like to hear the truth.
Yeah.
It's like that's why they want quick fixes, right? They want, I just want like customers very, very fast, ASAP.
Yeah.
But they don't want to work on the fundamentals. Like I have a mentor of mine who always tell me this: you want to be a good leader, you need to chop wood, carry water. And then one day when you learn how to be a great leader, every day you're still gonna chop wood and carry water. You have to do the fundamentals.
Yeah, so true, man. Like people keep going for like the Facebook ads and like whatever ads to get more leads and all that, but they don't see that it actually causes them more problems. The more customers they get in, and your operations is terrible, guess what? I always talk about advocacy. And Eric, do you like burgers?
Yeah, I know. I like. Because I know you're a big fan of one of the burgers, right?
Yeah, I love burgers, man. And I'm not even paid for this, right? But I would advocate this. I tell my friends, all my friends, if you're looking for a good burger, go to Wildfire.
There you go.
Because I know Yeah, I am a raving fan. I know that they will get a great experience because I get a great experience from them too. I have tried burger joints that have disappointed me. Big names like, Five Guys and Shake Shack. And I'm like, yeah, I mean, I like them in the US, but when they brought the brand here, it's no longer the
Yeah,
same.
value,
And
right? Yeah.
yeah, it just tastes different. I actually like went to Plaza Singapore, bought the burger, went back home. The only thing that I was happy with was like there was a lot of melted cheese, and I love cheese, so that's great. But the burger was very, very disappointing. The patty was dry. The patty was like, it was like crumbly and all that. It wasn't tasty at all. And so now when I go to Wildfire and I'm so happy with it, right? This is an example of positive advocacy. What I've done with Five Guys is negative advocacy. So in positive advocacy, I'm basically telling, or not just me, but like any of your customers, what they're experiencing is really like great satisfaction. So much so that they'll tell their friends, hey, you know what? You should go to Eric because Eric has a great business. He's like a great guy, and you're gonna be happy because I'm happy, and I'm like completely secure recommending Eric to you because I know that he'll give you like the kind of service that you want. But guess what, man? If you do a terrible job, the
Yeah.
negative aspect is going to happen, right? I'm going to say, I'm not going to just not recommend you. I'm going to tell my friends to stay away from you. And that's terrible. That's like the complete opposite of what you want. And guess what happens when you have a terrible business and you get more people coming in? You're not only not getting positive advocacy, you're getting negative advocacy. You're
You're
actually
amplifying the negative.
yeah, you're amplifying that negative advocacy. You're getting more people telling more people to stay away from you, and that's terrible.
You know, one of the things that I truly believe in, and I was very, I think we really, the books that we read really changed our life. And of course, I mean, me and Elvin were in the 1980s, so we read, right? But for the rest of you, you probably listen to podcasts or you watch live videos like this. But I just want to say that there's a quote that I hold very closely in me, which is, be so good at what you do that the world cannot ignore you. The best form of marketing is mastery. Let me repeat that. The best form of marketing is mastery. And I think that's what Elvin's trying to say. And that's what I live by. And I always believe that, if you treasure what little that you have, so I don't care how many customers that you have, but if you honor what little that you have, more shall be added to you. Is this whole 5 talent principle. I mean, again, I get a lot of wisdom from the Bible. So I'm not trying to tell you guys that you can only be wise when you read the Bible. But I mean, being a believer, I get a lot of my wisdom from there. And there is this story I want to share with you guys that this rich man was about to leave his farm. And he had 3 servants. One servant, he gave 1 talent, right? Which is like, think of it as 1 goba. And then another servant, he gave 2 talents. And then the third servant, he gave 5 talents. A year later, the master came back and he went to the first servant and said, what do you do with my 1 talent? He said, oh, master, I'm so afraid that I might lose your talent. I bury it underground. And instead of the master being happy about it, the master was so pissed off and he said, you just wasted my talent. You could have used it to grow it, but you bury it. And because you do that one that you try to bury and you try to save, I'm going to take it away from you. And then he went to the other guy and with 2 talents, and he asked the guy, what do you do with the 2 talents? Oh, master, I grow that 2 talents, and now the 2 talents become 4 talents. And then the master was like, you are good and loyal servant. All right, he went to the other one, and he has 5 talents, and he said, master, I grew that 5 talents to 10 talents. And the master was so proud and said, you know what, I'm going to give you more. And he gave that 1 talent to that 10 guy. There are a couple of principles that you can learn from it. Number one is that nobody's ever going to judge you based on what you're given. We're only going to judge you on what you do with what you're given. Let me repeat that. I hope someone could, because I mean, this really came out of beer. Okay, I've never said this before, so I hope someone writes it down. But we should have more beer sessions. People do not judge you. I hope my team is watching this. They're still working right now. I told them to take notes, right? So people get it right. People don't judge you based on what you're given. People judge you based on what you do with what you're given. No, the master did not judge him for not duplicating to like 2 or 5 talents. The master judge him for bearing his talent. And you can take talent as a literal talent. That means if you're good at something, but you don't use your talent, you're wasting it, it will be taken away from you. That talent could also represent your customer or your follower. I don't care, if you only have 23 people watching the view right now. But if you treat that 23 like 22.3 million watching you, I guarantee you that 23 will grow to 2.3 million. Because what little you honor, more shall be added to you. And that's how we treat our customers, right? I don't care how many customers you have. Don't go and compare with other people. Treat your customers, like they are the most precious commodity. Watch your customers grow, and no one can steal them away from you because you are the one that nurtured them. And one other thing is that if you have 5 talents, you grow 10 talents, right? If you have 2 talents, you grow 4 talents. Notice the master never compare. The master never go to the guy with 4 talents and say, how come you only got 4? The other guy got 10. The master is equally proud because all the master cares about, or all the universe cares about, or all God cares about is do you honor whatever that you've been given? I don't care how much you've been given. As long as you honor it, you have done a great job, right? So I guess that's a great way to kind of land today's message, which is not just about mastery. I see Johan writing mastery, but I think it's about honoring. It's about honoring what you're given and stop comparing. I think we have a very toxic culture of comparing the number of followers we have, comparing the number of customers we have, comparing how the business revenue that we have. No, everybody is playing their own game. You play your own game. Alvin plays his own game. The minute you compare, you set yourself into a vicious cycle. And what you want to do is play your own game. Whatever that you have, grow it, double it, triple it, quadruple it. All right, that's good enough. And that's all you're being asked to do.
Yeah, that's such a great story. I love it because it really encapsulates what is really the essence of anything we do, not just business and beer business, right? We're not talking about business here. Actually, this really applies to everything that we do. We've been given every stuff in our life, not just like material stuff, but like what you said, talents, skills, opportunities, what have you, right? And I guess all of us, I took away from that is that reminder that whatever that's given to us should not be stored or kept or hidden away or protected, but should be used in its all its form and function. The utility value of whatever it is should be amplified. I think that is really, really important.
Because there's the reason why stagnant water produces mosquitoes and flowing water creates spring water.
I love it. Yeah. So I that's the kind of validation and kind of reminder that we all need. Because I keep seeing people that they have opportunities. I think the very fact that we are here today is an opportunity, right? And making the full use of it. And if you're in a situation that you don't like, if you're in a situation that you feel that is not what you want, then the opportunity is there. It's up to you to make full use of it. It's up to you, like you said, with that talent to grow it, to amplify it. That's something that I don't really see a lot of, and I guess it's a great reminder for people.
Well, it's okay. We put it out there in the stream already, and I'm sure someone would actually see it. Well, Grace Chong actually mentioned the parable of the Sea of Galilee and the Dead Sea. Exactly, right? The Dead Sea is salty because it doesn't move. There's no current, right? Whereas the Sea of Galilee produces some of the freshest fish. If you ever go to Israel, you get to eat the St. Peter's fish, which is from the Sea of Galilee. So when you flow, when your talent flow, people come to you because you create something that's valuable. All right. Otherwise, you're going to be the Dead Sea. People are just float, but there's no value. Thank you so much, Cynthia, for quoting this. Oh my God, I'm still going to screenshot this. Cynthia says, people don't judge you based on what you're given. People judge you based on what you do with what you're given. Yeah. And you can change people to anything. But yeah, that's a good quote.
Yeah.
Thanks for this is the first time I said this, and oh wow, you can even do this. That's freaking super cool.
And it should, because it's such a great quote.
Well, it came out of you asking the right questions, and I think everything just kind of matched, I suppose. And maybe this beer is really awesome.
Wait, are you still on the what? You're still on the one beer?
Yeah, not lah. Today is only what? Today is Wednesday. Tomorrow I got morning class. I mean, I would love to drink more, but nah. I'm gonna take my time and drink your can of beer one at a time.
I'm already like red, man. I had like 2 cans.
No,
I
it's
don't know if
fine.
you guys are drinking beer, like the audience. But you
People
guys
might think it's because of your likings.
I hope everybody's enjoying themselves. I'm learning a lot from Eric, and I hope you guys are learning a lot from Eric as well. If you are, drop a like.
Yeah, let us know what's your biggest takeaway. I mean, as we wrap up, you know what would be very cool is if you're active on Instagram, then share with your followers, what's your biggest takeaway. Or if you're on Facebook, you can do the same thing as well. Right. Bottom line is whatever that you share comes back to you again. Many, many folds.
Yeah, I really, really like that. It's like, I don't know. Okay, so do you know Feng Shui?
Yeah, of course.
And that's something that I so when I was younger, I thought Feng Shui was a very mythical thing. It's like an art of it, right? And I thought that when you look at Feng Shui, there's like, there's a certain way to do it. What I realized recently is that it's all grounded in what's comfortable, what makes sense to the environment. When you, like, for example, when I enter a space and I see that it's very messy, that it's very cluttered, that things are blocking my way, it's uncomfortable. And if you look at it in a feng shui kind of way, it is not ideal. It will like block the energy, or block like the flow. And that's when I realized that whatever feng shui is like preaching isn't just something mystical. It's actually grounded in like reality. It's grounded in common sense. It's grounded in what makes us comfortable as humans. So I really saw like the connection, the reality of things.
I think there's so much thing. Actually, if you think about it, there's so much that we do not know about this world, right? Like if you understand how the world works, you understand the spiritual laws. What you just talked about feng shui is actually energetics, because right, quantum physics, that all of us are essentially just quantum. We are energy, and we're all vibrating. Some of us are vibrating at a higher level, and that's the reason why we attract the good things in life. Peace, love, and joy are energy that vibrates at a much higher level compared to anger, greed, and lust. And so why is it that sometimes when you hang out with people, you feel tired? Because the guy is vibrating at a much lower energy and it impacts you. But like, why are you guys watching this show? Hopefully, we've been giving you a lot of positive vibes, and you're starting to vibrate at a much higher level. So you are energized, you're motivated, and you are connected to higher wisdom. And all of a sudden, the problems that you're facing doesn't seem like problems anymore, because you seem to find a way out. But that's just the way the world works. So the more you understand how the world works, the more you win in this world. Like the more you understand how soccer works, you understand the soccer rules, the more you win a soccer game. Same thing, same principles.
When do you realize this wisdom? When was the turning point?
I guess I'm very blessed that my entire life I really meet a lot of very good mentors. I always feel that, like, for example, back then I was in my 20s, and then I'll be very curious about what is it like to be in the 30s. So I start hanging around a lot of successful people in their 30s because I want to be ahead of time. And then now that I'm going to be 40 soon, like next year I'll be 40 years old. And so I started hanging around with a lot of the 40s and 50s just to kind of get a glimpse of what my life could be like in the next 10 years. And when I observe that, I'm like a sponge. I'll just do everything that they tell me, and then I'll see for myself if it works. So yeah, these are the guys that teach me about energetics. They teach me about currency. They teach me about gratitude. Everything that I share with you is not original, man. Nothing's original. It's all wisdom in this universe. I just probably communicate it in my style, That's it.
There was this story that I heard about, like this professor. This professor talked to his students, right? And he asked the students, what's the best way to communicate information, right? This piece of information throughout centuries. Many years, right? And so all his students came out with like various answers. Some said, carve it in stone, carve it in rock, etch it in metal, like create like some fantastic metal or material that can store that information. But everything that you carve, that you create, like that you do with in terms of a material starts to fade after a while. No matter what it is, over time, over many years, it will fade. Like just look at rock and water, right? It fades. The one thing that doesn't is stories. Stories is what is passed on throughout millennia, throughout generations. Just like what you said, man, like the wisdom that we get from mentors, from people that have been there before, that's not something that might not necessarily be original, right? It doesn't need to be original, but the fact that people have experienced it, they've lived it, and it gets passed down to us, it's our duty to actually like make use of that wisdom. It's like that talent that you mentioned. It's given to us, right?
And story,
yeah, exactly. So I guess one of the things that not enough people do is to seek out the right mentors. I mean, if you know that you want to be like an accountant, or if you know that you want to be an auditor or an entrepreneur, or if you want to like scale your business or whatever it is that you want to do, right? Finding the right mentor is so important. Finding the right person who's like been there, done that, and have experienced it, I think that's something that not enough people do. Because
and you know something, like during our time where there was no social media, right? Finding mentors are very difficult because you need to physically reach out to them, and you are limited by geography. But guys, today, right? Anyone, right pen pal letter. Okay, the one was really quite extreme. But you think about it, like right now, right? Anyone can be your mentor. Anyone, so there's no excuse, man. That's why I say today, there's no such thing as stupid people. They're just lazy people. Because you have your technology and tools out there to reach out to anyone in the world. And so I think human beings are going to evolve, hopefully, with all this technology. Yeah.
That's something I'm very excited about. I think that technology is not a bad thing; it's a good thing. It enables us to do what we couldn't do in the past. Like just the fact that in like 1 week I reached out to you, we decided to do this thing, and now we're like talking to people here in the audience that I'm looking at. I mean, I'm reading all your comments. I think that's like, how do you do this 10 years ago? Just 10 years ago. Like when I was like 20-ish, I couldn't even do this. I had to like dial up for my internet, the modem.
Right? Yeah. That's why I play games. So I always listen to the modem.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, that was the time that like you couldn't even do stuff like this.
Totally agree.
And to be able to like meet people, have a beer virtually, like and talk about stuff. That's simply amazing.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for the compliment.
Yeah. What is Elder Shield?
Elder Shield, cashew lah. Walao eh. No matter, you'll know about it 2 years time.
Oh, the policy, is it? Okay. Yeah.
Cool. Thanks for having me, man. It's really fun. We should do this again. We should do one in person, and probably look for Keith. Let's go check him out. Check out what kind of beer he has for us.
Yeah, well, let me know how that goes.
I will. I'll go follow up with him.
Yeah, it'd be super fun. Like, cause I know beer, not just beer lah. Like Keith is a big alcoholic. Alcohol.
Oh, really? I didn't.
I didn't say alcoholic. Wait, no, I take it back. I meant Keith is a great appreciator of alcohol.
Yeah, that's what. It's a nicer way of saying alcoholic. But yeah, I love how you put your words across. Yeah, we all just alcohol lovers. Good.
Yeah, alcohol lover. So he has a lot of whiskey in his office. He has a ton of beer. So
I know that he has PlayStation. He lives in his office, so I remember playing at his PlayStation. That's how I remember his office. Yeah.
Very cool. Yeah. So I'm sure the beer that he brews is gonna be like epic. There's a very good beer place too. Like this guy that he's from SMU, and he actually was an accountant or an auditor in the US. He fell in love with the beer scene. He came back to Singapore, and then he started his own brewery. It's called Pink Blossoms. Is his brewery? Like I'm talking about actual brewing, like what's that called?
Big tanks.
A tank, right? is in Ubi. So super cool guy, man. He brews like the most awesome beers that I've tasted in Singapore.
Okay. So we have two places that we can go check out. If Keith's office doesn't work out, we'll go to that brewery place.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah,
All
really cool. All right, cool. I think we spent quite a lot of time together and
1 hour 20.
really engaged the audience. Like, okay, so we're only going to have a few more minutes left. So if you guys have any questions about social selling, and you want to ask Eric, now's the time. Like, drop your questions in the comments.
The quality of the answer drops as time goes.
It definitely drops with me because I've had like multiple beers. You've had like one dry bottle, like
oh, it's so good. Oh my god,
don't laugh. It was empty an hour ago.
No. Seriously, there is still a little bit more.
Only one drop.
Aiden Chong asks, if I were to bring both of you to 2 beer joints, which 2 joints would you recommend to me in Singapore? I'm not very familiar with the craft beer scene though. I think Alvin will be able to tell you. Where do you think?
I definitely like Pink Blossom. I'll recommend Pink Blossom. That's in Ubi, and I would recommend Heart of Darkness. So Heart of Darkness is kind of cool. Do you know
what a
that,
nice
Eric?
name? No, the name. Heart of Darkness.
Yeah. So that's the cool thing about like beers basically.
Yeah.
It's very like fancy. Yeah. Very cool design, very cool names. And they put so much passion and like heart into their brews. So Heart of Darkness actually comes from Vietnam. And they've recently expanded into Singapore. And like I love the beers that they've made, you know. Yeah. Well, my phone just died. I didn't expect it. So like
it means that it's time to end.
Yeah, so I can't reply in, but I'll drop him a message later.
Yeah.
About the 2 beer places that I like.
Sounds good.
Yeah, but yes, thanks so much, Eric. I think
it's my pleasure, man. I mean, I really expected it would be an awesome chat, and I'm just glad that we make new friends. So I'll see you soon in person. We'll go check out Keith.
Yeah, let's do it, man. Sick.
All right, to all of you watching us, thanks for staying with us. I hope you guys have beer with you as well. Otherwise, it's kind of awkward watching 2 guys drinking beer. You guys are just observing us drinking beer. What would be really very valuable for me and Alvin is if you can tag us on Instagram. I suspect that you're probably going to be very active on Instagram. Let us know what's your biggest takeaway. We would love to learn from your takeaways as well, all the sound bites. Alvin, anything else you want to tell them? It's your show.
No, and I really appreciate everybody coming on board. Like, and I had such a great time with a beer connoisseur like you as well. I think one of the benefits.
I mean, I enjoy beer.
I love beer, man. So like that's why this whole talk show was created, is business and beer. Like, I don't want like dry, stuffy corporate stuff. Like, all I care about is entrepreneurship. Like, and entrepreneurship to me is creating value for the customers. How do we do that in the best way possible? And I don't want it to be like a classroom setting. I want it to be fun. Therefore, we have beer. And you guys can see me enjoy my beers. So, yeah. Oh, yeah, Aiden. That's right. Thanks, man. Like, sorry, my phone died, but I was going to text you that. So, Pink Blossom, yes, like Aiden says, is in Ubi. Heart of Darkness in Kiongsia.
Yeah, I'm going to save it so that I can go check it out as well.
Yeah.
All right, man. We'll catch up again, Alvin. You take care of yourself.
Yeah, you guys take care too.
You guys all. Bye-bye.